Hi everyone, my name is Sangara Subramaniam. Today, me and my friends named Queen, Ainizati, Safina, Razima, and Ain Nadira will discuss about our selected company Proton Holding Berhad. Let's take a look.
As Shankara mentioned previously, our group was choosing Proton Holdings Company. First, let's take a look what is PESTEL analysis. The PESTEL acronym describes the 6 environmental areas that might affect the organization. PESTEL stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. What is the uses of PESTEL analysis? First, it helps to recognize opportunities offered by existing conditions in the business environment and then capitalizing it. It also can be used for identifying current or possible future challenges. Other than that, assists a company to identify the strength and weakness of the company to help them whether to make some changes or improvements.
Proton was established in 1983 and as Malaysia's sole national passenger car company. At its advent project in 1993, the company is headquartered in China, Selayang, and operates additional facilities at Proton City Park.
Businesses are always limited by the political environment in which they exist. Political factors that Proton Power System plc should consider in conducting PESTEL analysis is taxation, that is tax rates and incentive, wage legislation, minimum wage and overtime, mandatory employee benefit, political stability and importance of oil and gas sector in economy, risk of military invasion, level of corruption, especially level of regulation in oil and gas sector, bureaucracy, and interference in oil and gas industry by the government.
Economic factors that Proton Power System plc should consider in conducting PESTEL analysis is changing the rate and stability of the host country currency, financial market efficiency, quality of the infrastructure in the oil and gas industry, comparative advantages of the host country, skill level of the workforce in the oil and gas industry, level of education in economy, working on cost and productivity in the economy, stage of the business cycle, for example, prosperity, recession and recovery, economic growth rate, unemployment rate, inflation rate, and interest rate.
Okay, next I will talk about social elements in PESTEL analysis. Social elements refers to the socio-cultural elements determining the course of the business. Over time, many changes take place in society which are relevant to Proton Holdings Company. It focuses on the social environment and identify emerging trends. This helps a marketer to further understanding their customers' needs and wants. The attitude and nature of population and shared belief form the socio-cultural aspects for any business. These factors help the business to understand the market demand in a more precise manner and produce accordingly. The social issue for Proton Holdings consists of the rising concern for the increasing population, distribution of income, changing tastes and preference of the customers, and customer loyalty towards the national brand, and also social trends, which create both positive and negative impact on the business. Plus, the rising inhabitants in our state can influence the automobile business. The state had a sum of 27.5 million people in the year of 2008, which has the ability to give a large amount of markets.
Technology has always been the main function of automobile, and functions differentiation for its learning position. Proton has invested building of repeat and cluster according and developing new technology in designing and engineering, and bringing cutting-edge facilities and innovative products to the market.
Proton Holdings is an automobile company that might have a bad impact on the environment. If the company is not concerned about the environment, the public will blame the company for their environmental behavior within the operational level, which led to disasters. In order to have a good environment, Proton Holdings should concern about climate change, global warming, reduce the environmental pollution, especially air pollution, the effort from various governments in the cooperating to resolve gas emission and climate change problem, and innovation to handle air pollution.
Legal environment refer to rule, regulation and define what an organization can and cannot do. Rule and regulation can change frequently and also depend on the political culture in a country. Proton is always committed to continuous improvement that contribute to their car safety to keep road accident, injuries and fatalities at bay. Proton come forward to guarantee that all its production car model use legal standard in the Malaysia market. Moreover, Proton also get protection from Malaysia government. Proton can enjoy much flexibility of the law and get an advantage from the taxes and tariff. As example, there are restrictions on the import of car in Malaysia. Besides, because of Malaysia is the member of ASEAN, Proton can also get some advantage on the intra-regional tariff and non-tariff barrier.
The political factor that affect on Proton Power System PLC is the region is known as Asian Free Trade Area, that is AFTA. The impact of the policy on eradication of tax barrier in the AFTA region and National Automobile Policy, that is NAP, are the political factor influencing the business strategy of Proton. Proton is operating in oil and gas in more than dozen countries and exposed itself to different types of political environment and political system risks. The achieved success in such a dynamic oil and gas industry across various countries is to diversity the systemic risk of political environment.
Economic factors that affect on Proton Power System PLC is first, competition. Competition between other car companies in the car market such as Produa, Toyota, Nissan and others. Second, growth rate. Proton as a Malaysian car company has a responsibility in increased company growth rate and economy growth rate. Third, income of company and country. Proton should increase the sales of manufactured cars to generate national income throughout this company. And finally, currency fluctuations. Buying and selling car made in Malaysia allow the financial transition in country bring more benefit to us.
Next, let's see how the social elements affect the Proton Holdings company. There is no doubt that society is continually changing. Changes in social factors can impact a firm in many different ways. It is another significant factors that affected the Proton Holdings Berhad. Firstly, Malaysians have various backgrounds, for example in terms of social lifestyle and family size. Some of them have a luxurious lifestyle and others practice a simple and frugal lifestyle. So these lifestyle differences may influence their selection in the automobile industry, especially for the company of Proton Holdings. People will make comparisons to choose vehicles based on their capability and needs. Thus, this will directly affect the Proton Holdings organization in producing their product to comply with customers' needs. In addition, family size can also influence the type of vehicle that people will choose. On average, those who have a family will choose a larger and spacious car to accommodate all of their family members. Meanwhile, for those who are unmarried and live alone, they will probably choose a smaller car. Next, trends in social factors also affect the demand for Proton Holdings vehicles and how the organization operates. For instance, the rising of car sharing. The automotive industry has to take into account the general trends against individual car ownership. New rental services are different because they are primarily used by local people only when rent cars for a short period of time when they need them. This means that people are buying fewer cars and the total numbers of cars is still less than if every individual owns a vehicle. This trend is likely to grow more important in the year coming, and the automotive industry, especially Proton Holdings, has to find ways of staying profitable in spite of it. Lastly, distribution of income also affects Proton Holdings company in producing car. The amount of income someone earns will influence how much they spend. As customers' income increase, the demand of goods and service will increase as customers look to spend their extra money. For example, upgrade version of high-class car. If customers' income fall, they will buy fewer. When they do some spend money, they may buy cheaper alternatives such as second-hand car.
With the successful technology, engineering resources, and the innovative concepts and designs, they have become major automobile manufacturers. Therefore, the impact of technology on the company will be better benefits because good technology will make more customers choose.
Improve public perspective toward Proton Holdings. Public perspective toward the brand image of Proton Holdings will be improved if they contribute to a positive environmental. Next, eco-innovation. The effort of government to address environmental issues has attracted interest from Proton Holdings company in taking environmental initiatives through eco-innovation. Next, produce intelligent air purification system. This was a Proton company reaction to environmental problem. The last one is launched the model which provides consumers with greater savings on fuel consumption. This is to save the limited fuel.
Different law, rule and regulation can affect the business of Proton. The effect of legal factor is Proton may face legal suit, so legal environment must be considered, especially the Labour Act and Consumer Protection Act. If there are any change in the country legal environment, Proton must change or revise the strategy that's supported by the law. Otherwise, they may face legal suit for not obey the law. Next, government protection have been reduced in the previous few years, lead to Proton losing market share. This is because the import tariff on assembled car and car components from ASEAN countries have been reduced owing to Malaysia obligation under ASEAN Common Preferential Tariff Scheme. Then, however, the higher and effective excise tax imposed on car maker continues to give the Proton a disease cost advantage.
Improvement that can be made by the organization in managing the macro environment effectively is: number 1, the company should focus more on design and technology, which are its weakness. Number 2, do promotional and advertising activities. Next is improve standard and quality of material use also drive the company improvement effort. The fourth one is skilled manpower will be needed in the growth of the Proton company.
As a conclusion, it is shown that pest analysis can help Proton to maintain its competitive position in the Malaysian markets. By analyzing those pest factors, Proton Holdings can gain insight into the external influences which may impact their strategy and business decisions. It is such a simple framework that facilitates an understanding of the wider business environment and encourages the development of external and strategic thinking.